Hamilton against Terence Crawford. When you first heard about that fight, the idea of it, what was your reaction?
First reaction, of course, it was about size of Crawford. Is it okay for him to move up for 2 weight classes, or not? But then I saw him in Dubai maybe a month ago. I saw him. He's big, and he has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He's able to win this fight. But there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this. He needs to get used to the power and pressure of 168, because it's different, big difference, to be honest. Maybe he will get used to it, and how he will be feeling himself the same day when he will fighting, how his training camp will go on, a lot of things. But he's able, he has good skills, he's awkward, he can use 2 boxing stands. It gives him benefits, of course.
I was at that same event in Dubai just before Christmas, and I saw him too, and I thought exactly the same thing, which is that he is quite big.
Yeah.
Size obviously is important. Jamel Charlo stepped up from super welterweight to super middleweight to box Canelo, and it didn't work at all for him. But Crawford is, I mean, he's one of the best fighters in the world, isn't he? I mean, obviously you rate him very highly.
Yeah, you know, with it's not about only getting used to the power, and it's also about be mentally ready, because when people are not prepared them mentally, they like afraid or scared, you become weak, your body become weak, you know, when something happened and it's something new and you wasn't ready for this. We all know these feelings, like the body become melting, like just soft, you know. And mentality is very important also for this fight. Even his 1 weight class or 2 weight class lower, if he's mentally ready, he will be ready to get these punches and be okay with this. He could be good. At the same time, we saw how Canelo was fighting against another guys like Charlo, maybe Smith, Callum Smith. And we saw the huge difference. I think it's not because of weight class, it's about mentality of the opponents.
And those are the words of Dmitry Bivol as he gives his thoughts on Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Now, if you guys don't know, if you've been under a rock and you missed the memo, Dmitry Bivol was the last person to defeat Canelo Alvarez, okay? At 175, when Canelo Alvarez attempted to fight Bivol for his WBA light heavyweight title. Come up short because Bivol was able to beat him. And Bivol, of course, just shared with us, you know, Terence Crawford's one of his favorite fighters, but it's more than just weight. It's also mentality, because you have to be ready. If you're not, you're going to crumble. And my counterpunch to this is, first off, this is very credible coming from somebody that actually successfully beat Canelo. So this means a lot, and this should mean more than anyone who's just talking from the outside in. At least this is someone that actually been in the ring with Canelo and beat Canelo. And, you know, I think Bivol is a guy, he kind of gives you that, how do you say? he's more like a boxing enthusiast as well as a boxing champion. You know, I mean, he likes a breakdown. If you can tell the way he thinks about fights, though, you know, it's not even a biased standpoint. It's just like, well, this guy has this and this guy has that, and we have to find this out about this guy here. But we know this guy can do this, but will he be ready for this guy? You know, he is a guy that breaks down, and you can tell he thinks a lot about tactics, strategy, mentality. You know what I mean? He thinks a lot about that. It kind of puts you in the mind of Bruce Lee, you know, and Bruce Lee thinks about a fight should be fought very seriously, but a small blade. Right? He reminds me of that because he really thinks in depth to a fight and how a fight will go. That's why this is important. Now, there are a lot of things that you think about size, but like you guys know, of what I just released a few hours ago on Terence Crawford. Just like, and it proves my point, because this interview was 2 days ago. Nobody's talking about size no more. So now it's beyond size. You know what I mean? You know, not the other thing that we mentioned I mentioned in that video. I'm talking about mentality. I'm talking about anticipation. Okay. Those things matter when you're fighting someone like Canelo Alvarez, because I think the special thing about Canelo is he's been in there with so many people to the point he knows how to do certain things. Like even in the Lara fight, which was a very difficult fight for him, he was able to hit Lara with punches that I don't think Lara liked, but I think Lara, you know, it didn't stop Lara, but it slowed Lara down, because the way Lara was coming at him was pretty aggressive in the first 3 or 4 rounds, maybe first 5 to be fair. But Canelo's been around. He has that experience. You know, so the question is, will Terence show him something different? You know, and I haven't seen Terence Canelo in there with someone that, like Dmitry Bivol mentioned, that's a switch hitter, that's awkward. What makes him awkward, which makes him unique, he can hit you with either stance and hurt you with either stance. You know, you think he's coming with something and he's catching you and he's hurting you with a totally different shot. You know, and it's technically shifting. When you shift your pivot foot to shift with the right amount of punch power, of torque in your shots, and you're using your foot movement as you change stances to create power with that punch you throw. Whatever punch that is, it's an uppercut, or left hook, right uppercut, straight right, straight left. Whatever, you know, he's leaning his power on that, which makes him very, very impressive and makes him very unpredictable, you know. But can Canelo Alvarez give him enough, or should I say, can Crawford, you know, handle the power? But you guys tell me what you think of Dmitry Bivol and his take on Terence Crawford. And the weight classes will be very different, you know, that Terence is not accustomed to, and we'll see how he deals with it when he gets in the ring, because there's no other fight that he's done at 168. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!